Alrighty, we're going to make another video here for the 2013 Polaris Sportsman 500, the latest quad. And I've had many, including a side-by-side or two, but this is the one that here in Alberta I'm going to hang on to. Not going to get to ride it much because of the way things are here in Alberta. With private land almost being everywhere, I have got to travel 100 kilometers or more if I want to go to an area that's like government land where you're allowed to ride. Anyways, I'll stop whining about that. But I did make the introduction video for it, and now here it is on my table, and I've been pulling the wheels off one by one and having a look at the brakes and the bushings and the bearings. So far, we are good. Got lots of brake pad left. And, well, the bushings and the bearings, I mean, this thing's tight. It really, because it was never really ridden in the bush, it was only just around town on gravel roads and paved roads. It really didn't take a licking there in the suspension department. So the bushings are good. The only thing that I found when I was removing this rear wheel and then had a really close look at that, this bushing right here, the grease zert is missing from the top. And they've got tape around there. So somewhere in all my stuff, I gotta find it yet, is my little box of zerts. And I should be able to hopefully get a new one and stick it in there. Because I like to keep these bushings greased. I don't think they've been greased in the 9 years. Although there is some grease coming out in some places, but well, maybe they have, but whatever. I got my hitch on there. Yeah, pretty soon the new latch for here will be coming. That'll be fine. By the way, the toolkit was in there, and the owner's manual was in there in its original plastic bag. Nobody even opened the toolkit. I'm just going to show you here. Where did I hide that toolkit? Right here. Look at this. The toolkit is still in the plastic. Wow. There's my winch cover right there. Yeah, unbelievable. And the owner's manual I have as well, and it's in really good shape. So something else that I'm going to have to do here, but it's nice being up on the lift table, eh? I'm standing here and I'm looking right at the battery. That's the wrong battery. It doesn't quite fit. It's supposed to drop right down into this little part right here. So that one's like 6 inches wide, and the proper one should be 5.5 inches wide, and I believe it's a little taller. Looks like to me they've got the winch power lead off, and that's because the switch was broken, removed, whatever. So I have to put a new switch on there. Once I get the new switch on there, then I'll hook that back up again. And I tested the winch just using jumper cables, and because I had to wind all this up into the winch anyways. This is this new synthetic rope that I've got here. I didn't get it all the way in there, but I will once the control's on there. But I actually removed the winch completely. It's very easy to do. There's just 4 bolts, and out comes the winch, and of course you got to take the wires off. But I cleaned it all up, greased up the fairing rollers, and yeah, it works just fine. No problem. So once I've got the new control switch on there, things will be good. And the rest of it, well, I really don't need to do much. I have a bag on order for the rear rack because I like to have a place to, well, several places. I do have the trunk in the front, but I like to have a place for some of my rescue stuff, like my tree strap and my extra towing cable and whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna equip this the best I know, and we'll give it an oil. Well, it's up here. This is the best place, eh? I can do an oil change and a filter. So I've got those things coming, and we'll take care of that. And that should be all it needs. And then I can just, I also have a cover for it. So I like to keep a dust cover on there. I mean, if I'm going to do all this cleaning, why not keep it clean? So yeah, anyway, and it is pretty good. I don't think 9 years is enough time to really have things rust a whole lot and whatnot. But when you do look at the frame on this thing, there is really no rust on it. It's a little dirty. Yeah, it's got a bit of dirt on it. It's seen some gravel roads for sure. But you know what? There's no rust on the frame. And really, the only part that I've seen rust is right around the hitch here. Big deal. They've been taking the hitch on and off, so whatever. I'm gonna leave the hitch on there. Okay, so anyways, that's a little bit of a walk around, looking at what's wrong, what I can change, what I can fix. Oh yeah, one thing I did miss is that the wheels are nicely held on by these fancy bolts here. And look, there's one old original. That's an original Polaris bolt there with the washer that's mounted on the bolt. And then they've got these fancy ones here. So we got a little bit of a mismatch. I also found the threads on this one and on the rear and the other side. One of the studs, wheel studs, just one out of the four, was the threads were a little bit buggered on it. And when you go to take the nut off, it hits this point where it had a lot of resistance. Fine. Impact takes it off, but when you looked at the threads, there were they're bad. So that's why you're looking at my tap and die set here, because I would take the proper tap and fix those things. Just run the die. It would be the die. I would just run the die over the stud and fix it all up. This is the die right here. It's a 3/8 National Fine. That's what the threads on the studs are. It's all fixed. That's why I got a kit like that. Man, I like doing that. Okay. We'll see you later.